So last week we talked a bit about eternal recurrence, the idea that your life will be repeated again and again and again, exactly as it went, so not Groundhog Day. There's no opportunity to get things right or improve, that your life will be played out exactly the way it went, infinitely often. And we toyed with the thought that this might underplay regret or remorse, that if you did something bad in the past, that you shouldn't simply say, well, this was part of what made me who I am, and is therefore something I should say yes to as part of my general yay saying and embracing of life. Why? Because it may have affected somebody else, right? You may have damaged somebody else, and that to think of that episode in which you harmed somebody else as being like having an illness or like having a bit of bad luck that affects you is a kind of moral narcissism. It's kind of self-preoccupied, that it should weigh more heavily on you that you damaged somebody else in the process of becoming who you are today. There may be an answer for this that Nietzsche can take advantage of, and that's offered by the Nietzsche scholar and philosopher David Owen, who says, well, supposing you are troubled by remorse, the thought of eternal recurrence intensifies it and therefore motivates you more powerfully to do better in future. So I think it goes something like this. Supposing you did something untoward in the past, if you think your life only happens once, well, then the future only happens once. And, if you've dealt with whatever it was you did in the past by kind of saying, well, it's in the past, it's all gone, what's to be done, shrug and move on, well, that option presents itself for you in the future as well. So if you're deciding what to do and you're tempted to act badly or to break a promise to yourself or, to otherwise let the side down, if you think your life only happens once and you know that you've successfully dealt with episodes like that in the past just by saying, well, okay, they're now past and gone, so you're anticipating your future misdemeanor will in the future lie in the past and therefore be something you can kind of shelve and forget about, then you may be tempted to take the path of least resistance. But eternal recurrence makes you think, wait a minute, nothing is ever done with, right? So I did something I'm not proud of in the past. I'm tempted to do something I'm also, shouldn't be proud of in the near future. But I know, or at least I'm considering the thought experiment, that not only my past action, but my potential future action will be repeated forever and anon. Well, the thought that whatever you're about to do will be repeated forever and anon ought to, when combined with remorse for the occasion when you did something similar in the past, those two things should combine to motivate you more strongly to get it right this time. Why? Eternal recurrence suggests to you that whatever you're about to do will happen infinitely often, so you better get it right. That's David Owen's suggestion. It kind of works, although I'm personally not convinced that it gets Nietzsche out of the accusation of moral narcissism. I think he has to bite a bullet there. I think really in the end he has to be true to the thought that worrying too much about other people's comfort is going to lead us to the last man, and that what we need is not compassion but integrity, I think if he steps away from that and starts saying, oh, well, actually, yeah, there was that time when I stepped on somebody's toes and I kind of feel sorry and, oh, I'm going to try and do better. I think if he starts listening to that, then he ceases to be Nietzsche. So I kind of feel that those Nietzsche scholars who want to make him more reasonable and likable may be working a bit too hard and ultimately producing a kind of thin, pale version of Nietzsche.